Good afternoon, good evening, participants from all over the world. We are going to start the session. The topic for today's session is so this short infographic show how we are growing. We have offered 1,000+ sessions through our platform, and we have 300+ PKs associated with our platform, and we have offered 8,000+ certificates through our platform. And these are the few MEPs and master mandates associated with our platform. Yeah, we are academic partner of Alibaba Cloud. These are the few courses which we have done in line with Alibaba Cloud. You can get the certificate by directly from the Alibaba Cloud by using this link, which is provided over here. How we can help you? We can help you to build your knowledge, digital presence, and help you in all ways when you are looking for jobs through our community. And all you can access through the link www.fifthir.com, which stands for Fifth Industrial Revolution. As a part of our community, we are going to provide free level 1 certificate for all the participants. You can access the certificate by providing the secret code, and the secret code will be provided at the end of the session. This is a sample certificate which you can get at the end of the session by providing the secret code. So moving to the speaker of the day, that is myself. I worked as assistant professor in St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering. I have 14 years of industry experience working across leading organization in the industry. I am delivery director at MultiCloud for you and MEP at Alibaba Cloud. You can see more about me in the given LinkedIn profile. So That's name node and data node. That's name node is used for storing the metadata, and data node which is used for storing the actual data. And another component for of Hadoop is yet another resource negotiator. That in short, we will tell us YARN. YARN is used for job scheduling as well as managing the cluster. Now moving to what is MapReduce? It is a programming framework. Normally, it is developed by using Java language. It is used for processing large scale of data. Or it is used for processing large scale of data sets in a distributed environment. And we have certain process in MapReduce. So normally, two processes are there. That is mapper and reducer. We will tell in short as mapper as well as reducer. So I have mentioned as step 1 and step 2 and step 3. In step 1, we are going to perform a map job. That is a block of data or chunk of data is arrayed and processed, and finally we are producing a key value pair or tuple of values. We are going to produce a key value pair as an intermediate output. So through the map job or mapper function, we are going to produce a key value pair of the set of block of data. And then step 2, we are going to provide the input from the output from the mapper job or output from the mapper to the reducer. That's the reducer receives the key value pair from the multiple map jobs. And finally, the step 3 is that's final output. So from the reducer, we are getting the final output. That's again it's a tuple, or it's a set of tuple, or it is a key value pair. So we are converting the block of data. We are converting the block of data as a final key value pair or by tuple by using mapper as well as reducer function. All this mapper and reducer function will be implemented as a Java program. Okay, so that's a short introduction about MapReduce and Hadoop and AMP and HDFS. So now this is a small diagram which is depicting about the MapReduce function, that is input. So block of data. So input is normally a block of data. I'm going to provide with the mapper function. This is a mapper function. This is a Java program. So it will convert the input block of data into tuples or key value pair. Again, it is provided to the reducer function. It's a reducer task or reducer job. Again, shuffling will be done over here, and finally we will be getting a final key value pair or final tuple, and this will be your final output. So we'll be seeing how this is how the file we will be providing input file, and through EMR we will be processing that, and we will be producing the final output in the demo. Okay, so that's a short introduction about the mapper function. Mapper, that's MapReduce, Hadoop and HDFS. Okay, this is a short introduction you have to know when you are dealing with big data, or if you are dealing with the elastic MapReduce. Okay, so now I'm moving to Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. So what is Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce? It is an extension of open source MapReduce or Hadoop or any other ecosystem tool which is available in the Hadoop. So now we can see a short introduction about Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. This Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce is a big data processing solution, and it runs on Alibaba Cloud platforms. It runs on normally Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce is implemented as a Elastic Compute Service. So it is built on Elastic Compute Service, and it is based on open source Apache Hadoop and Apache Spark framework. So it is similar to Apache Hadoop and Apache Spark open source Hadoop ecosystem tools, and it is implemented over Alibaba Cloud Elastic Compute Service instance, and it provides all the components as well as services such as Apache Hive is provided by Elastic MapReduce. When I'm showing the demo, I will explain you how to create Apache Hive, how to create Apache Kafka. We can choose whether if you need Apache Hive for your application or for your organization. You can choose Apache Hive, Apache Kafka, Flink, Thread, and TensorFlow. If you want to analyze this your data with the machine learning tools, no, you can use TensorFlow application you can use. So these are the all whole set of Hadoop ecosystem tools are supported by Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. And you see, it also supports Alibaba Cloud Storage Services also. So apart from supporting all the open source Hadoop ecosystem tools, it also supports Alibaba Cloud data storage service such as object storage service. So if you want, you can store the input file in the object storage service, and you can access that in Elastic MapReduce. So I have done this in the demo. I have uploaded my test file in Elastic Object Storage Service in Alibaba Cloud OSS, and I have applied MapReduce, or I have submitted this as a job in Elastic MapReduce, which I created in Alibaba Cloud ECS instance. Okay, so in log service, we can integrate Elastic MapReduce with the log service, and also we can integrate Elastic MapReduce with relational database services. This is such as PolarDB, that's PolarDB, and Alibaba Cloud Apsara DB for RDS, then Alibaba Cloud MySQL. So these are the different database services where we can integrate our Elastic MapReduce. Okay. So this is a short introduction about Elastic MapReduce of Alibaba Cloud. So now we are moving to some of the big data products available in Alibaba Cloud. I am going to depict you certain Alibaba Cloud big data products which are available. So you can see it's a different set of products which is available in Alibaba Cloud big data platform. So some of the products are proprietary product, that's a product or service developed by Alibaba Cloud, and other products are open source products. So as you can see here, Elasticsearch, it is an open source product, and real-time compute Flink, it is an open source product, and this product we can use in Alibaba Cloud platform. We can use proprietary products, we can use, as well as we can use the open source products which is available in Alibaba Cloud. So now you can see here Data Hub, this is a proprietary product of Alibaba Cloud. So if you want to ingest the data, or if you want to provide data integrations, we can use this service for that purpose. For data integration or data ingestion, we can use Data Hub. Then we can have, if we want to have GB to penta level of data storage or offline storage of data, we can go for Max Compute. If you want to have a real-time compute or real-time storage, we can go for real-time compute or Flink service, we can go. And we can, as a part of the big data product, Elastic MapReduce is present. It is an open source product. It is an open source product, and there will be some updations over the open source Elastic MapReduce will be provided by Alibaba Cloud. And you see, you can find the whole ecosystem of Alibaba Cloud AI platform. That's Apsara AI platform. Platform for AI. In short, we will tell us platform for AI. That's Pi Elastic Algorithm Service. This is one of the services provided in platform for AI. Then Auto Learning, Pi Studio is there. Then Pi Data Science Workshop is there. So Pi, this is a similar thing, notepad kind of notebook kind of thing you can do by using Pi DSW. You can implement all the algorithms. You can implement Python, Scala, that's kind of languages. Using that languages, you can develop some application by using Pi DSW. And finally, Pi AI. These are the different set of Alibaba Cloud big data products which is available in Alibaba Cloud. So now moving to the architecture of Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. So here also you see, you can find three set of services which is available in Alibaba Cloud. So self-developed services of EMR. That is, it's a service which is developed by Alibaba Cloud. Just self-service. And then you can see open source services enhanced by Elastic MapReduce. This is a services which are open source services which are enhanced by Alibaba Cloud or by Elastic MapReduce, which is used in Alibaba Cloud big data product portfolio. Okay. Then these are the services. Now you see something which is mentioned in red. You can see this ECS, Xtragon, OSS. These are the Alibaba Cloud services which are developed by Alibaba Cloud. That is a proprietary product or proprietary services of Alibaba Cloud. So in computing, So you can see here, computing resources are there, the scheduling, data integration, data storage, compute engine, data application platform management. All this are a set of layers we are going to use in Alibaba Cloud. Now in this computing resources, we are using this kind of process. ECS, Elastic Compute Service is used. This is a infrastructure as a service of Alibaba Cloud. And X-Dragon, this is a processor, or this is a kind of infrastructure we are going to use. And scheduling, as I mentioned that, yeah, yet another resource negotiator is used for scheduling the job in MapReduce or in Hadoop. So this is an open source tool, and a proprietary tool of this is what container service for Kubernetes is provided by Alibaba Cloud. And data integration, you see, if it's Apache Scoop is there for data integration, you can use Apache Scoop or Kafka, you can use. And proprietary product of this is DataWorks or DataWorks you can use, Data Hub you can use, transmission service or TTS we can use for ingesting the data or for data integration. And again for data storage, so normally we can use object storage service and data lake formation, your Jindo FS, HDFS. This is a open source service and which is enhanced by Elastic MapReduce, and we can use HDFS. And compute engine, you see, you can use all the set of compute engines. That's all the set of Hadoop ecosystem tool you can use in Elastic MapReduce. You can use Spark, you can use Hive, you can use Presto, you can use Kafka, Flink, PyTorch, HBase, Gateway, TensorFlow. All this open source ecosystem components or open source ecosystem tools, which is present in open source distributed system, or the open source tools are supported over Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. And you see here, if you want to develop some applications, data applications by platform, if you want to manage the platform, or if you want to create some data application, the tool is DataWorks. DataWorks is a tool we are going to use. DataWorks is a tool which we are going to use in Alibaba Cloud. But in case of, you see, you can use EMR Studio also, you can use EMR tools. And moreover, it supports some third-party supported tools also. It's also supported over Alibaba Cloud. This is a peculiar feature I think in Alibaba Cloud. So it support Alibaba Cloud services as well as third-party developed tools also. It is also supported over here. Okay, so I will explaining this. I will be showing what are the compute engines supported by Alibaba Cloud when I am showing the demo. Okay, so this is a short infography or short architecture of Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. So now moving to types of nodes supported by Elastic MapReduce. So the Elastic MapReduce have three set of nodes. That's master node, core node, and task node. So what is master node? Master node runs a name node process as well as a resource manager process. So it will run name node process as well as a resource manager process. And core node, it runs the data node process. So actual data will be stored in the core node. And task node, it runs the node manager process and perform only the computation. Only the computation task will be performed by task node. So you have to know this. While you are creating an Elastic MapReduce cluster, it will ask for master node. Normally, one master node will be there. Normally, when you are creating by default, we will be creating one master node and two core nodes will be created automatically. Okay, we have to provide that. It is by default. Okay, so master node will be there, core node will be there, and task node will be there. So in core node, data node process will be running. Okay, so that's then this is a diagram on master slave. So master node and slave nodes are present. So when you are creating a cluster in Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce, there should be one master node and more than two slave nodes should be there. And again, this master node and slave node is implemented in Elastic Compute instance. So it is nothing but an Elastic Compute service. That's the infrastructure of the service which is provided by Alibaba Cloud. So EMR or Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce is implemented over Elastic Compute service of Alibaba Cloud. So again, you see here, which will be running in the master node. That's name node and resource manager will be running in the master node. So that your data will not be stored in the master node. It will be name node as well as the resource manager will be running in the master node. And in the slave node, a data node and node manager will be running. So that your data will be stored in the slave node. This is an important concept you have to know over here. Okay, so that's a short introduction about elastic MapReduce, the architecture of elastic MapReduce, and what are the different types of node used in elastic MapReduce. So now moving to some of the advantages of elastic MapReduce or open source distributed processing system. That's open source available tools or open source available Hadoop ecosystem components which are available over the market, or you can tell in the or available as open source. So you see, as a if you are implementing in an in-house big data platform, if you are going to implement an in-house big data platform, you think that you have to evaluate the business features for how many machines you need, how many physical machine is required for running your workloads. You have to define, evaluate business features. You have to select the machine types, what kind of machine is needed, you have to select. Then you have to purchase the machine, you have to procure the machine. For this, you have to have an invoice to be produced. It will take from a week to 1 month for purchasing a machine or procuring a machine. Then you have to prepare the hardware environment. Then you have to install the operating system, all the machines which you have purchased. Then you have to deploy the Hadoop ecosystem tools such as Hadoop or Spark or PySpark, or these other tools you have to install in that particular operating system. Then you have to start the cluster. Then you have to deploy your application. You have to run the job and obtain the data. You have to get the data which is stored. Okay, so this is a whole cycle. Now life cycle you have to follow when when you are developing your own Hadoop ecosystem components in-house. So you see here, as a developer or as an organization, they will be working on the program, compiling the application program. They will be running the jobs, they will be submitting the jobs, and they will be obtaining the data. They did not want to bother about evaluate the business features and purchasing the machine, then installing the operating system, and finally starting the cluster. They did not want to bother about that. So now this step, that is 1 to 7, that's a preparation step from 1 to 7, can be replaced if you are using Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. So that we can see in the next slide. You see, if you are going to use Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce, you are not going to purchase the machine. You are not going to deploy the Hadoop ecosystem component. You are not going to install the operating system. You are not going to manage the clusters, or you are not going to manage the nodes. This will be done by Alibaba Cloud for you. Just what you have to do is you have to compile your application, you have to write your application either in Java or any other programming languages, and you have to compile the application and you have to run the job in the cluster which is created, and finally you can obtain the data from the cluster which you have created. So this is the main advantage why we are moving to cloud-based products and over in-house built Hadoop ecosystem product. This is the main advantage you have to do. So now moving to other advantages. So I have compared here open source distributed process system versus Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. So open source, that is in-house. You can tell you can tell another words, that's it is an in-house Hadoop ecosystem component which you are going to create. So this is an open source distributed process system versus Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. So now as a first we are going to compare with the cost. So of course, so cost is an important factor why the organizations are moving to cloud. So you see, in Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce, we can use pay-as-you-go model as well as subscription model. So if you want to use the resource for a long time, you can go for subscription based, or if you want to use the resource for a short time, you can go for a pay-as-you-go basis. So this is, you see, in case of open source, everything is fixed. You see, you have to estimate the number of resources needed in advance, as well as you have to allocate the resource in a fixed manner. So that's dynamic configuration of resources is not possible in case of open source. So in case of Elastic MapReduce, it is possible. So now resource utilization, you see, in case of Elastic MapReduce, the resources utilization will be high. There will not be underutilized resources. Since we are going to use based on the demand, we are going to use the resources based on the demand, there will be high utilization. But in case of open source, you see, we can find that there will be a low utilization of resources, since we are not going to use the resource based on the demand. We are fixed allocation of resources done at the first time when you are installing the Hadoop ecosystem tools, or when you are installing the Hadoop ecosystem component. So we cannot do resource utilization is not high in case of open source, but in case of Elastic MapReduce it will be high. And in case of performance, you see performance is significantly improved in Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. In case of open source Hadoop ecosystem, it is reduced. It will be, you have to optimize the resource. You have to do the optimization. Everything has to be done by you. But in case of Elastic MapReduce, it will be done by Alibaba Cloud. So now usability. So you see here, EMR cluster can be created within a minutes. Okay, by using few mouse click, you can create a Elastic MapReduce cluster. But you see, if you are using in-house Elastic, in-house Hadoop ecosystem component or in-house distributed process system, what you can do? You have to do. You have to purchase the machine. You have to install the operating system. You have to install the Hadoop ecosystem component. Everything you have to do that. It will take from several weeks to month to complete the process. But you see here in Elastic MapReduce, what you can do within a minute. By that too, by using few mouse click, you can create a Elastic MapReduce cluster. Now I will be explaining the demo how to create a cluster within minutes. That's within 1 or 2 minutes. We can create a cluster. We did not want to bother about maintaining the cluster. Operation and management, we did not want to manage. This will be managed by the cloud service provider, that is Alibaba Cloud. So now moving to elasticity. This is the important feature you have to know. So you can start a cluster, and you can start a temporary cluster, and you can delete the cluster as soon as the job is completed. But in case of open source or open source distributed processing, you cannot do that. It is not possible. So you have to allocate the resource fixed allocation is done. So you cannot do that. It is not possible. Then reliability, it is more reliable in Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. But since the updations, software updations will be done automatically by the Alibaba Cloud, or the service provider will be doing that. You did not want to do that. But in case of open source, what you have to do? You have to do the upgradation, or you have to do the software updations. Everything you have to do by yourself, and you have to fix the bug. If any bugs are there, you have to fix that. But in case of Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce, it will be done by Alibaba Cloud. And service support, professional as well as senior big data teams are there for providing service support to you. But in case of open source, you have to do that. License, you have to do that. That is service support is not available. Additional service fees are generated for Hadoop licensing. You have to provide licensing. You have to pay additional cost for licensing everything. But in case of Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce, just professional and senior big data teams are there for providing a service support to you. Okay, so that's the that's the advantage of Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce over open source or distributed system. Now moving to the benefits. So as I mentioned previously, first benefit is easy to use. So within a minute, you can spin up a Elastic MapReduce cluster. By using a few mouse click, you can spin up Elastic MapReduce cluster, and stability is also there. The maintenance is not needed. We do not want to maintain the cluster which we are creating. It will be maintained by the Alibaba Cloud or the service provider. And cost effectiveness, of course, fixed scaling is not there, or fixed allocation of resources is not there. We can allocate the resource based on the demand. That is scale in and scale out of resources there. So if more number of resources needed, you can scale the resource, and scale in and scale out of resources done, so that at the foremost, your cost will be reduced. Since the fixed resource allocation is not there, your cost will be reduced. Okay, of course. Then security, in case of open source distributed systems, you have to maintain the security. But in case of Elastic MapReduce, it will be provided by the cloud service provider or Alibaba Cloud. It support both Kerberos authentication and data encryption is supported, and it is provided by Alibaba Cloud for you. Okay, so that's a short benefit of Alibaba Cloud EMR or open source distributed system. So main thing is, you have to know that if you are going to build your own open source distributed system, So you have to do all the process from starting to end. That is for purchasing a machine, then installing the operating system, then installing the Hadoop ecosystem components or Hadoop ecosystem tools, and finally operational and maintenance OA and TM. All the process has to be done by you. But in case of Elastic MapReduce, that process, no, that's from purchase of a machine, installation of OS, and installation of Hadoop components or deployment of Hadoop components. Everything will be done by the Alibaba Cloud. What you have to do as a developer, you have to do is just you have to create a cluster. You have to spin up with the cluster within 2 or 3 minutes. You have to create an application. You have to deploy your application, and finally you have to get the result, get the data. That's the thing. That's the thing you have to do. Okay, so you did not want to deal with operation and maintenance of the cloud resources or infrastructure. That is the benefit of using Elastic MapReduce of Alibaba Cloud. Okay, so now moving to the demo part of how to spin up or how to create an Elastic MapReduce cluster in Alibaba Cloud. There are set of steps are there. So just I have mentioned depicted the steps over here. First, we have to create a cluster. So for creating the cluster, you have to provide the master node and core node. You have to provide how many master node is required. Minimum you have to provide one master node and 2 core nodes are should be provided. That's the thing. Then you have to provide the configuration of this particular master node and as well as the core node. That is based on the workload. So the Alibaba Cloud has given set of workloads. By predefinedly set of workloads are there, and it will automatically select the instance or select the cluster for that particular workload. So if you want to create a custom cluster, you can do that. It is all that option is also available over there. Okay, so creating a cluster, then you have to create a job. That's you have to run a job. Then view the job details. You have to view the jobs which actually you have run in the cluster. And finally, if a whole process is completed, what you can do? You have to release the cluster so that your resource will be utilized high. Okay, so we can release the resource once we have completed our task or completed our job. Okay, that's a short steps of how to create Elastic MapReduce. Okay, now I'm going to show a short demo. Yeah, so let me explain the steps what I am going to do. So I'll be sharing. This is a blog which I have created already. So this is a blog which I created. So just within 2 or 3 minutes now I will just go through this particular document. Then I will be creating the cluster. Okay. So this is the first you have to create a cluster. This is the steps for creating. This is for running the job. This is for creating the cluster. So yeah, create cluster option is there. You have to create a cluster. So you have to provide the basic configuration. See, in the basic configuration, you have to provide the region. You have to provide the region as well as the products. No, I already told that these are the different Hadoop ecosystem component which is available over here. You can choose that, and you have to choose this is the different components, and you have to choose the hardware configuration. Now the hardware configuration, you have to provide the node, master node and the core node you have to provide over here. Okay, this is then core node configuration. You have to provide the configuration is nothing but what kind of CPU you are going to provide for the core node as well as the master node. You have to provide over here. Okay. Then finally, few configuration details you have to provide, and the cluster creation will be completed. Okay, this is cluster creation. So now, yeah, now I will show it here. Okay, so how to create a cluster. So I have created one cluster over here. Okay, this is MC for you. Elastic MapReduce cluster is created, and this is running. I created this in Mumbai, India region. Okay, so now I will be creating another cluster. So just what you have to do is here. This is Alibaba Cloud Console. This is Alibaba Cloud Console. You have to go to now this is a dashboard. Now you have to go to this dashboard and you have to select elastic map reduce. The elastic map reduce. So just you click this. Yeah, now it is running. Yes, yes. Now already I have created one cluster. Yes, now you have to create a cluster. Just you click create cluster. Yeah. So now first you have to provide the region. So I have by default, no, I have chosen Mumbai, India region. So now we see this is a different business scenario. So I already mentioned that based on the business scenario, no, the master node and the core node will be created. You did not want to create a master node and core node. So new data lake, data analytics, streaming. If you are going to develop streaming application, you can click this. So based on this, no, this scenario, the master node and the core node will be created for you. Okay. Then I mentioned that if you want, you can choose the custom cluster also you can choose. Okay. Now since it is a demo, no, I am going with the new data lake. Okay. So new data lake. Now you see the product. This is EMR 5.12.0. So you have to choose the product. So this is the managed by Alibaba Cloud. Okay. So you did not want to bother about the versioning, or you did not bother about the bugs present in this particular product version. Okay. This is, which version is needed, you can choose that version. And now this is the set of Hadoop ecosystem tools or Hadoop ecosystem component available over here. If I want to use data lake, delta lake, or if I want to use Scoop, no, I can choose this. Or if you want to Presto, I can choose this. If you want, I want to use Zookeeper, I can do this. I can choose the Hadoop ecosystem component which is available over here. Okay. So in my case, no, I am not going to use Presto. Scoop, I am not going for data injection. So I am not going to use Scoop. Okay, I am going to use Spark. Okay, Hive, Yarn, HDFS, Hadoop Karma. Okay, so now you can create a metadata. So either you can use your own relational database. So relational database, you can provide the URL over here for Hive metadata for storing the Hive metadata. Now in case what I am going to do is I am going to use built-in MySQL. So those MySQL will be created by Alibaba Cloud, and the metadata will be stored in this particular built-in MySQL. Okay, so now Hive data warehouse path you have to provide. Yeah, this is a OSS storage location you have to provide. Okay, OSS storage location you have to provide this location. I provide this location. That's where to store the data warehouse. If any data is there generated, you have to store that data. For that, no, you have to provide object storage location you have to provide. So now next, we'll click next. Yeah. Now you see here, as usual, you have to select the VPC. So already I have created the VPC virtual switch and default security group is there. So if I am going to create a new VPC vSwitch, it will take a few more time. Okay, so I am not going to do that. Okay, so now you see here. Yeah, now master node, core node is created for you. You see 4 virtual CPU, 16 GB memory. The master node is created, core node is created based on the business scenario. That's the thing you have to know clearly over here. Based on the business scenario, this will be created automatically. Now, if you want to create a task node, or if you want to create another core node, you can do that. Now, you see one important feature here. So you see, you can change the instance type also over here. Okay. What type of instance? Since it's a demo, no, I am going with the basic instance. Okay. So now, yeah. Now you have to, if you want to access this cluster, if I want to access this cluster from the external world, I have to assign the public address. So I have to choose this. Yeah. Yeah. Now master node I can access from my machine. So I provided as assign public network IP. So these are the, now we see I am going to minimize this. Now again core node. Similarly, you can configure the core node also. Now again next. Yeah, now you see the price 2187. No, so I have to change the pay as you go model. Okay. Yeah, that I will change in the last. Yeah, pay as you go. Okay. So now the price will be 0.7 like that, no? Yeah, 0.773 is the price. Now again, next basic configuration. Yeah. So now you have to provide the cluster name. EMR. Now password. So you have to provide the password to access this cluster or this master node. So now you have to confirm this. Yeah, now you have to check the configuration which you had provided earlier. Okay, so these are the different Hadoop ecosystem tools I have selected. So now finally you have to confirm. Yeah, now cluster is created. Yes, the cluster is created. So now it will take another 2 to 3 minutes for activating this, no, for making the status is running. So before this, now what I will do is I will connect to this cluster, okay, which is created. Okay, so now how to connect to this cluster? Okay, just you click this. You can find you see the services. You see this is a short basic information about this particular cluster and what are the software components installed over here. Now you can see the services. Yeah, what are the services running? Okay, Spark is running, Hadoop Common is running. Okay, now nodes, how many nodes are available? Here in this case, no, master node is there and core node is there. Okay, so now access link and port for accessing the service. No, we can use this particular. This is a link you can use for accessing Spark UI, HDFS UI, YARN UI. No, you can use this link. Okay, you see here this is a private IP address, so I cannot access from here. Okay, so then monitoring. Okay, now script operation. So these are logs. Okay, so the different operation present over here. So now I have to access this particular master node. Okay, so already I have given a public, I have assigned a public IP address for this particular master node. So how to access this is you have to go to Elastic MapReduce, Elastic Compute Service. Okay, already I mentioned that this EMR service is implemented above the Elastic Compute Service. So you have to go to Elastic MapReduce. Yeah. So now you can find the instance running over here. Is here different instances are running. Yeah, this public address is present now. Just you click this. Yeah. So I think this instance is still not created. So I will move to this. It is 147. Okay. So I have to check the instance. Okay. Let me access the instance from the command prompt. Okay. Yeah, I can access the cluster. Now I think some issue is there in over here. Okay. So I access the cluster. So this is a cluster, that is this is a master node. I have accessed this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the workload. That's I'm going to run the map reduce job in this particular cluster which I have created. Okay. So for this now I have created set of commands. So set of commands, everything is over here. So just I will explain this what I am going to do over here. So first what I am going to do is I am going to get the jar file. So you know that if you want to run the Spark job, you need a Java file. No, this is a Hadoop MapReduce example. This is a Java program. Okay, this is a Java program for running the MapReduce job. So first I have to download this jar. Okay, I have download this jar, and what you have to do is you have to upload this in the OSs. Okay, so I will show that also. Okay, so somebody, if you are new to OS, if I have to know what's open. Okay, so now I have created object storage service in Alibaba Cloud, and I have uploaded the jar file. That's a Java program, and the file which I have to use for the map reduce. I have uploaded that. Okay. So now you see here, you can go to the buckets. Yeah. So you can find Alibaba Cloud EMR. So now you can find the jar file. Yeah, you can find the jar file. Yeah, jar file. This is a jar file, and this is a test file where actual data resides. Okay, so this is the thing. This is the initial setting you have to do in the object storage service. That is, you have to upload the file as well as the Java program in object storage service. Okay, this is the first step you have to do. Then what you have to do is you have to run this command as usual. No, you have to create a ls command. Okay, you have to check the Hadoop file system directory. Okay, so now I am going to create a one input directory, that is input. That's I am going to create a folder that's in Hadoop. I am going to create so Hadoop fs make that input. Then again I am going to list this so that it will be displaying the directory which is created. Then I am going to create output directory. So this is for input file and this is for output. Okay, then I am going to run this command. I am going to transfer the file. I am going to move the file from root directory to the input directory. Okay, and then I am going to run the job. You see how to run the job is it's very simple. How to job. This is a Java file, and this is a word count. Okay, a word count program. Okay, now this is input. Okay, input file. The file which is present the input I am going to use, and the output. And in output folder, I am going to create another folder as res_2 where I am going to store this. Okay, then again I am going to check all the files which is created. Okay, I will run this so that different parts of files will be created. Okay, you can view that file. No, you can see, you can view the output file for here, and then I am going to view any one part of the file. Okay, any one of the part of the file I am going to view that. And if I am going to use the vim command for viewing the file, and again I am going to run another job for checking the query. Okay, keyword query. So here you see I am given the word as broken. Okay, so I am going to find how many times this broken word is present in this particular particular file that I am going to do over here. Okay, so that's a task I am going to do. So now I will select this. So I hope that already I have done these steps. No, this in this cluster I have done all the steps. Okay, so I am not going to repeat this. Okay, so just I am going to run the job directly. Okay, so just I will select this, Control C. Yeah, it's running, I think. Yeah, it is running. Okay, so if you are going to start with, first you have to do the steps. Okay, since you have to create a directory, input directory, you have to create output directory. Okay, so in my case, no, already I have done that. Okay, so I'm not going to repeat that again. It will take some more time. Okay, so done. Okay, it is done. Okay, so the job is completed. Yes, so now what I have to do, I have to check this. Okay, I have to check whether this files are created in output. Okay, output directory. Yeah, it is done. Okay, you see part R00, part R001. Okay, all these files are done. Okay, it is created. Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to view this part 0. Okay, part 0 alone I have to view. That is file does not exist. Some issues there. Control get. Directly I will read like this. No, part 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, it's done. Okay, you see the file is created. No, the count is the post where the bin 2 times it is present. Brilliant, it is present 1 time. So I have get that. Okay, I have got reduced final file by using the reducer. Okay, first map reduce. I got the final tuple or final key value pair of this from the reducer. Okay, so now if you want to run a single keyword, like I can do that. Okay, grep input resource. So now, yeah, now what I have to do is I have to find how many times this broken keyword is repeated in this particular file. Okay, so again I have to run this. Yeah. Yeah, it is done. Yeah, it is done. Okay, so now I can check this file. Okay, undo. Yeah, it is run now. So set of files is there. So now I can check this file. How many times it is repeated? Yeah, one time. This word is repeated for 1 time in this particular file. Okay, so that's all from the demo side. So again, yeah. So already I think that we have created a cluster. So we can check this cluster. Okay, it's created. Yeah. Yeah, you see, this cluster is also running. This is a cluster which I created now. It is also running. Now you can access this cluster and you can submit a job in this particular cluster which is created. Now you see, this is the main advantage of using Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce. You did not want to configure the cluster, or you did not want to install the components. That's what Spark, or you did not want to install Hadoop, or you did not want to install Scoop, or you did not want to install any other Hadoop ecosystem components. It is by default, it is present. You can use that. Okay, that is the advantage when you are using Alibaba Cloud Elastic MapReduce or traditional distributed system products. Okay, so now yeah, that's the steps we learned. So that's all. I hope that's the end of the session. So now I will provide the secret code for downloading the certificate. So participants, free level 1 certificate is provided by Alibaba by multi-cloud for you. So you can access the certificate by providing the secret code. This code, okay. Type fifth IR. Okay. You can type fifth IR. And now